guys, and welcome to my awesome video. Today I will be explaining my SI. My SI is really personal to me, which I consider a good thing because it makes me more passionate about my pieces. I'm able to come up with a lot of ideas for it since it's about my own life and experiences. My SI is about growing up in poverty and how my view of it has changed as I've gotten older and matured. Throughout the entirety of my SI, I focus on things like my environment, food, and my age. Here are some of my previous pieces I've done. This one symbolizes how getting McDonald's felt like being treated like royalty when I was younger. This one is a drawing of the trailer house I used to live in. Lastly, this piece is meant to represent how it feels to live in a dirty environment. Now I can finally talk about the process I went through to make my final SI piece. For my PERI, practiced with the type of brush textures and experimented with shades and colors I used in the piece. I used a rough, grainy brush to make the line art look more jagged and raw. To add synthesis to my piece, I'll say that the unclean line art was intentional. It's meant to represent my feelings of uncertainty and give a sense of instability within myself. I made the piece with a grayscale color palette to emphasize the feeling of what maturing might look like. I wanted this piece to kind of be like the personification of the saying, finally standing on my own 2 feet, and life isn't always sunshine and lollipops, which is something I partially disagree with because it frames the situation so negatively. People only say it when they see a happy and optimistic person that is having fun. I much prefer the saying after a storm comes a rainbow. This is much nicer. But anyways, I digress. Initially I wanted this piece to be focused on how I am still childish, despite almost being an adult, but instead I revised the idea and went in the opposite direction. Here are my beginning sketches I did. They were inspired by this giraffe onesie I have. Everyone knows onesies are considered childish, so I thought it was a good idea for what I was going for. Now for my MPI, the materials I used were the Sumi for pen for rough lines and mark making, paint, brush pen for the water textured background, and a stipple pen to add more texture to the hair. As I investigated my I realized that I wanted this final piece to be about my growth, the realization of the reality I've been living in. I also happened to find a song that may or may not have inspired 99% of the drawing. Lol, my process was just sketching and coloring. Now for the grand reveal. It's my favorite piece I've done so far.